Shalom, giving all praises to Yahweh Bashem Yahushua Bashem Kakadash. Giving all praises to Yahweh Bashem Yahushua Bashem Kakadash. Now with uncalled Halal Yum. La Yahweh Bashem Yahushua Bashem Kakadash. And I'm going to entitle this video, The Christian Community Loses Another Rapper to the Israelites. And that could be put in the form of a question. Did the Christian community? Anyway, I'm going through the videos trying to, get ideas or for the spirit to hit me, excuse me. So I went to vocab's page, and I'm looking through the videos. And you know what? He helps us. The scriptures say, you can do nothing against the truth, but for the truth. See, when you put us on blast, vocab, a lot of these jakes are watching us, and they're watching our videos, and they're kind of starting to say, well, this makes a lot of sense. I believe I am an Israelite. They come across more videos. They realize that what's his name? The rapper that was down with IUIC, but he's no longer down with IUIC. Can't even think of his name. Kendrick Lamar came back. He did a cut song, rap, and in the rap, he said, "Don't call me black no more. I'm an Israelite." Now he got in. He became an Israelite through his cousin. I forget his first name, but his last name was Duckworth. So I think, so he's a cousin of Kendrick Lamar. So he got at Kendrick Lamar. Kendrick Lamar said, "I can see it. I'm an Israelite. Let me do a couple of cuts on it, or at least one cut on it where he actually mentions I'm an Israelite." But like I said, I think I said in the beginning, his cousin became disenchanted, and he pretty much became disenchanted. So now you have, see, this is like a wave. You know what put us over the top, the one Westers? These are celebrities. These celebrities. Like Ye, they got pretty much they got him out the news. They got him. They got him out there doing interviews, but they kind of the small hats ain't dealing with him no more. Kyrie Irving, they call him promoting a anti-Sem film, Hebrews and Negroes. Now, what's funny is if I go to Amazon or I put in Hebrews and Negroes and Google, it'll lead me to a site which would eventually lead me to Amazon, where I can actually buy the book and rent the movie. And I believe there's like a sequel to that movie put up by Ronald Dalton Jr. And I'm gonna go on his page in a little bit to see what's going on with him. But so if they put Kyrie Irving on blast for that movie, because they're saying that it was an anti-Semp movie, why can you still order it? Why didn't they put Amazon on blast for still playing the movie? Because it's not about the movie. It's about the fact that an actual Israelite saw the movie and tweeted about it, commented about it. So Kyrie at least believes, they say he's what's the term? Omnious, if I'm saying it right. If I'm not saying it right, help me out. Which he believes in a little bit of this and a little bit of that. He's kind of all over the place because he hasn't taken a stand and say, well, I'm an Israelite. He could have said that. He said, well, first of all, the movie was good. It woke me up to the fact that I'm an Israelite. I'm an Israelite. And through the movie, I found out that you people are not Israelites. That's all he had to say, but he didn't say that because he's still confused. But guess what? That opened up the doors for the IUIC to, and like I said, we're gonna ride off, we're gonna ride off IUIC's back with that stunt that they pulled. It was a stunt. It was a publicity stunt, and it was a recruitment drive because they're about numbers. Because numbers equal one thing, if not nothing else, money. So is that the actual intention of the Bishop Nathaniel, to make money or to really push the gospel, or both? We don't know. You got to ask him. You got to ask him about it. But anyway, so look at this. Let's look at this. This is the video I'm focusing on. So I went to Google just to find out. But you got to wait until Christmas morning, which is another 12 days away, less than 2 weeks away. So we'll be watching this just to see what's up. So now let's look at this, right? Vocab Malone. Vocab Malone has no power unless he's pretty much Sarnetta on the Edomite side. You know, Sarnetta can't do a video unless he puts, you know, he tries to do a video with Kemet, and somehow the Hebrew Israelites come up. And he's, let me call Captain Tazariak, because if you just said, I'm going to teach Kemetic stuff to my people, your numbers will go down dramatically, and they have gone down. All right, and now the big man is Hassan Campbell. Now Hassan Campbell made a statement when he had an interview discussion with Captain Tazariak, and he spoke about the FEMA camps, which are called C-19 camps, and then he said, eventually you're going to get the MOTB. You know what I mean by that acronym, and it's going to be a chip. And then you saw Captain Tazariak pretty much malfunctioned. You know, he bowed his head down, his right arm went up. He got all, you know, messed up in the spirit. And then he had to kind of do some damage control. No, that's not talking about that. And then, you know, looking at Hassan Campbell, he says, I don't know, something fishy about that, which leads us to believe that Hassan Campbell, you know, watches our videos, or maybe not. But we're the only ones at all the camps, and tell me if I'm a liar, out of all the camps, who pushes the MOTB the most out of all the camps? Be honest. The right way. GMS, of course. And then behind GMS is Sakari. So basically, Vocab, thank you, Vocab. You helped us tremendously. You're making all these Christians, and more of these Christians are going to leave. Jake Christians are going to leave Christianity and will come to Israel, because now they're thinking rationally. See, in Christianity, you don't think rationally. You just listen to the pastor, he talks his shit, quotes a couple of scriptures, don't know how to break them down. And they're realizing we're known for our prophetic, going into the prophecies. So let's look at these recent videos that Vocab Malone put up. David Wood, the dress wearing David Wood. And I told him, I said, look, you better, I told him to his face, I said, you be wearing dresses. I said, you better repent. Discuss Ye, Kanye, yes, West. Why are they discussing Ye, Kanye, West? Because the whole controversy with the Israelite thing. Look at this. IUIC trots out this refuted verse on Fearless Interview. And these guys, they got, if they're not talking about GMS, they're talking about IUIC. If they're not talking about IUIC, they're talking about Sakari. If they're not talking about Sakari, they're talking about ISUPK. You're in captivity. Nate tries to dupe Jason Whitlock on his own show. Why did they bring up a Nate? They didn't even call him Bishop Nate. The bishop? So that's their conversation. You're not going to learn the Christian gospel following this guy, following this page. Look at this. Jewish rabbis run from IUIC in Brooklyn, fact or fiction. Well, we heard that they happened to come out there. They went to Crown Heights. I wasn't there at the march. So there's a big question mark there. There's a thing called a lie, and there's a thing called embellish. I believe, I could be wrong, that, he told a half truth, Bishop Nathaniel, which is called to embellish something. Okay, here it is. At least 2,000 IUIC members march for Kyrie. Leader claims, which is Bishop Nate, the bishop. And then why did, and all this relates to the Israelite belief. Okay, IUIC gets Song of Solomon 1 verse 5 very wrong, because Solomon said, I am black but calm. They said, no, it was a woman that said that. Well, when you go to Song of Solomon 1 verse 1, it said the songs of songs, which are Solomon's. And he wasn't actually talking to a woman. He was talking to wisdom, to a spirit. It's basically, in hip hop, when Jake sings songs, they say certain things that mean other things. I'll give you a perfect example. And I'm gonna ask a question for you hip hop heads out there. The cut that Jay-Z did called 99 Problems and a Bitch Ain't One. What is the bitch? Who is the bitch? What did he mean by the bitch? He said I got 99 problems and a bitch ain't one. What does that mean? If you answer this correctly, you're good. You're good. But I believe you're going to be totally wrong. I'll be up there saying wrong, wrong, wrong. But let's see. So this right here, Nate's neighbors are only people who look like him. Hebrews film Kyrie tweeted quotes Hitler, but it's fake. I don't know. I wasn't there. I wasn't even born. Barclay, this is related. They're going to be talking about Israel. Okay, so this is the thing that caught my eye. Christian rapper from Grits turned Hebrew Israelite. So you got to wait, 12 days, 13 days, 12 days, less than 2 weeks to see the video. And I'll watch it as soon as it comes out just to see what they're saying. And so what I did was, I never heard of Grits. Okay, Grits, Wikipedia. Grits is a Christian hip hop group from Nashville, Tennessee. Their name is an acronym which stands for Grammatical Revolution in the Spirit. Let me read over here. Right. Grammatical Revolution in the Spirit. A Christian hip hop group from Nashville, Tennessee, is made up of Stacy Coffee Jones and T-Ron Bonafide Carter. And you know what Christians do? They bring in what keeps people in the so-called Christian community is worldly things. They'll take a worldly thing, like a rapper. The guy's a rapper, could make it. A lot of good Christian rappers out there, but they're all Jake. What they'll do is they have rap skills, spitting skills, whatever you want to call it, and they'll go into the Christian thing because that's another avenue of becoming famous. And they'll have certain lyrics, but what they'll do is they'll put Christian type. They might quote a Bible verse, or they might put Jesus somewhere. The rap is rap. Rap comes from the world. Scripture said, "Love not the world." Why would you take something from the world and bring it into the world of the believers? And that goes with anything. Anything they skateboard, that comes from the world. That's worldly. Skateboarding in the name of Jesus. You got NASCAR races that are Christian. They got Jesus on the car. So what they do is to keep these lost souls in the church is they give you a lot of Christian, and a lot of these people, a lot of these, I'll say, rappers and rock and rollers among Christianity, a lot of them live the life of the worldly music that they got that music from. They're into snorting cocaine, they're into adultery. They do everything. They hang out with people of the world. So this Christianity is not the real Christianity. There's some bullshit. But anyway, I'm going by. It doesn't. You know what I'm gonna do? Let me go to the news. Let me go to the news. Okay, I just noticed this. Post Nigeria. Kanye West, rapper, bags anti-Semite of the year title after millions of votes. Let me click on this. See what this is all about. Well, how can he be anti-Semite when he's a Semite himself? Can't be against yourself. Anyway, so that's pretty much all I wanted to say. Oh, you know what I wanted to do? Let me do this. I was watching some Apostle Rama video dealing with miracles, signs. So I kind of looked up the word miracle in Revelation 13. But then it led me to Genesis 1:14. So I'm gonna go through the word. Like I said, I'm not gonna make this too much longer. I'm gonna go through the word sign, signs, miracles. And the scriptures is also written in a mystery. That's why vocab can't get the understanding of it. And he says, see, they'll go to Deuteronomy 28:48, and then they'll say, well, see, you see slaves in America with yokes of iron. Of course, because that's a sign. They'll read this, and they'll go to Deuteronomy 28:68, and it says, you shall go into Egypt in ships. But wait a minute, America's not Egypt. That's what he does. How do we know that we're Israelites? By the signs that point to us. Doesn't point to the small hats. Small hats never went in the captive. Hitler never sent small hats from different parts of Europe to serve slavery in Germany. They went by trains for the most part, as the story goes. When you go to the pictures, if you go to Google, and I always do this, if you go to Google and you put in Hebrew slaves in Egypt, ancient Egypt, what are they going to show you? They're going to show you so-called black people working, and they're going to show you taller black people being the taskmasters over them. So there's nothing that fits these small hats anywhere in history. It doesn't fit them. They didn't go from one place to another place. And that's why they'll say, well, if you go to Josephus, please show me the scripture on that in detail. And they did say that they did went into Egypt, but guess what? There were millions of Israelites already in Egypt, and they were not slaves. Because if they were slaves in Egypt or captives in Egypt, they couldn't leave every year. Actually, 3 times in a year to go to Jerusalem and come back. So you had Israelites living in Egypt that were free. So when you go to the whole thing about the 70 AD thing, that could have been a handful of Jakes that was, taken from one place to the other place. But the prophecy is you're gonna go to Egypt and you're gonna be captives and you're gonna be sold into captivity. Then they say, oh, they tried to sell themselves. People didn't want to buy them, which is crap. Ain't nobody gonna turn down a slave. That's called cutting the overhead. Why do you think they allow these Mexicans, these Latin Americans to come up in this country? Because it's cheap labor. Why do you think they let the Europeans from different parts of Europe come to the Americas for cheap labor to build up New York and to eventually build up America, mainly New York? They needed cheap labor. And they didn't want to do it to the slaves. They ain't pay the slave shit. And that's, yoke of iron. Show me one picture of a small hat with a yoke of iron around his neck. Anytime in history. A pasty white guy with a yarmulke on with a yoke of iron around his neck. You can't show me that happened in Babylon. The Babylonians were dark people of color, enslaving another people of color, which were the Israelites, and then other people around them, because that was the empire. Remember, they didn't just have the Israelites. Then the Persians and the Medes, they were people of color. Okay, so let me come over here. Genesis 1, verse 14. Now, right here, you want to get it, a Christian? Say, what does it mean? And God said, who's God? They'll say it's Jehovah God. Jehovah Jireh. Jehovah God. My Savior. Sweet Jesus. No, they're wrong on that. The word, you say, what's the word there? That's why you gotta go to the Hebrew and the Greek. The word there is Elohim, which means angels or powers. And Elohim said, the angels led by Yahweh, John 1 and 1, let there be light in the firmament. When you look up, you're looking up at the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night. And let them be for signs and for seasons and for days. That's how we know when the Sabbath comes in, based upon the lights in the heavens, not some calendar you get from 7-Eleven, and years. So now we're going to look up the word signs. Oh, let me read this one. Genesis 4, verse 15. And Yahweh said unto him, therefore, whosoever slayeth Cain, vengeance shall be taken on him sevenfold. And Yahweh set a mark or a sign upon Cain, lest any finding him should kill him. Now the sign wasn't an X on his forehead. The sign was leprosy, because when Cain came back, Cain came back as Esau. When Cain came on the scene, Adam and Eve with dark brown skin. The two sons, Cain and Abel, were also dark brown. And what the Most High did to Cain was curse him with the curse of leprosy. That's in Isaiah 34. So a mark is a sign. See, we know who Esau is based upon what he looks like. You go to Obadiah. He shows set his net a nest among the stars. Ain't no other nation doing that except for Esau on both sides. Over there in Russia and over here in America. The Edomites over here, the space race, the race of the moon, was between two groups of Edomites. And now they work together. They have what's called an international space station. Who gave them that blessing? The Most High. That's a sign. See, the signs don't just apply for Israel only. It applies to the Moabites. How do we know what the Moabites, who the Moabites are, who the Ishmaelites are, who the Edomites are? So there's signs that point to Esau when you read the scriptures. Oh, I mentioned one, Obadiah 1. And there's many other scriptures. Malachi 1, it says the day of the wicked. So Genesis 1 verse 14, the word says, let them be for signs. What is a sign? Let me click on it. Now, this same word sign is also going to be mentioned in Deuteronomy 28. I believe it's 46, if I'm not mistaken. And go to the word sign. Or signs. The word is awath. Sign, signal, a distinguishing mark. Now you can say, well, a guy that has a scar on his forehead on the right hand side, and he's 6'2", so-called white man. He has a ponytail. Well, you gave him some signs. That's what you look for. And then signs are also in what condition that he's in. He's living in the hood. He's living out in the suburbs. So it says sign, signal, a distinguishing mark, meaning the outside mark, a scar on his head, or the way he dresses, or the things that he does. He likes expensive clothes and expensive food and all that. So that's another sign. He likes tall women that look like models. That's another sign. Put all them signs together. Oh, that's the guy right there. Banner. Remembrance. And see, a sign is also remembrance. When you see something and you see the sign on it, the mark on it, then you say, oh, that's this guy. That's my long lost son, or whatever. Miraculous sign, omen. Omen is like a warning of something to come in a bad way. These so-called UFOs that's all over YouTube, that's a sign to us that we getting ready to be delivered to the elect. But that's an omen, a bad sign to Esau. That's why Esau, he has observatories all over the place, but he doesn't tell you what he sees up there because he's scared to death. And he doesn't want to scare other Edomites. Esau is afraid of these objects in the sky. Jeremiah 10. Token. Now, token is also used like for Jake. You got a golf club. It's all white people. And you hire one black guy. You have him play golf. So when they say this golf club is racist, so what do they do? They'll say, no, we're not racist. Get Jeff. Bring him over here. See, he's part of the club. Well, so they got one Negro. There's 1,000 white men, but there's one Negro. Why they got that one Negro? In case you call him racist, they'll bring out them, change his name to Tom. So what is he called? The token Negro. So you can't call us a racist. Like you have Edomites that might marry a black woman and racist as hell against Jake men. And then when you call him a racist, say, how can he be a racist? He got a black woman. She's a token wife. So a token is also a sign. Ensign, standard, miracle, proof. Right. The word proof means this proves that we're the Israelite. When you read Deuteronomy 28. So now let's do this. The word occurs 79 times, 77 verses in the Old Testament. So this is what I did. I jumped down to Deuteronomy 28:46. And they, the Israelites, shall be a sign, be upon thee for a sign. What did I say? A mark, proof, remembrance, and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever. Now, let me click on that. Let me go up a couple of verses. "45th verse. Moreover, all these curses shall, and these curses are upon you as a sign." If you're driving somewhere that you're not familiar with, you go through a certain neighborhood, you know right away if it's a middle class working community, got a couple of Jakes, got a couple of Edomites, maybe some Latin tribes. If you see these manicure lawns and these McMansions, you know that it's Edomites. And every once in a while, you see Jakes that are doctors and lawyers that'll live among themselves. You have a bunch of Jakes living next to each other, and you almost think this is a white neighborhood. Well, there's certain Jakes that are coming up that are doctors and lawyers, like the Huxtables. But most of the time, when you see liquor stores, about in 5 blocks, you didn't drove by 10 churches. You see barber shops, you see liquor stores, you see bodegas. You already know that you in the hood, and for the most part, it'll be Jake, and then you have some of the Mexicans and some of the Latin tribes and a couple of Simeonites. You know, is it it's the hood? So that's a sign. We're the Israelites. The fact that we're under the curses. If you go to a neighborhood where you have these McMansions and the Manicore lines, and you got Mercedes and Lexus, and these what's the other car I'm talking about? Peugeots and Range Rovers, but all new. 2020s, 2021s, 2019s. You see an Edomite woman walking the dog. They're not under a curse. They're not under a curse. When you go to the hood, what comes with the hood? Gunshots, killings, gangs, hot water not working. We're under the curse. So when you read Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, it fits us to a T. 45. Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee, and overtake thee, till thou be destroyed, destructured, because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of Yahweh thy power, to keep his commandments and his statutes which he commanded. Now the question is, why didn't we keep the Lord's statutes and commandments? I'm putting that out there to y'all. And they shall be upon thee. What's going to be upon thee? The curses. I just mentioned the curses. And everyone, and slowly, little by little, you got a lot of Edomites that are living like Jake. Guess why? Because the Mosai is slowly bringing us out of the curses, and he's slowly putting the curses on Esau. And they shall be upon thee, the Israelites, for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever, for a long time, even to this day. Are the Israelites under blessing or under curse? We're under curse. We're still under a curse. When will we be under the blessings? Deuteronomy 1 to what, 14? When we get the kingdom, when we're over everybody. You know what the word blessings mean? You know who's blessed? The only people that are blessed are the small hats. They run everything. That's why Kyrie had to pretty much bow. You got to do 6 things to get, They run every goddamn thing. So they're the ones that are blessed. Not the Irish, not the Italian. The small hats are the ones that are blessed. And then you got Edomites below them in the order that are somewhat blessed. But the ones that are truly blessed are these small hats. So now when the kingdom comes, we're going to be on top and people are going to actually bow down to us. That's what Isaiah 49, Isaiah 60, Isaiah 61, Isaiah 14, many scriptures on that. They're going to bow down to us. Revelation 2, verse 25 and 26. So guess what? We're not blessed. We're not blessed. When people bow down to you and you can beat them over the head and beat them to death and you won't be arrested for it, that means you're in the power seat. That means you're blessed. And they are going to bow down to you in a short time. There's a moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee and shall pursue thee and overtake thee till thou be destroyed, because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Lord thy power to keep his commandments and his statutes which he commanded thee. And they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder. What? The curses, and upon thy seed forever. Because thou servest not the Lord thy power with joyfulness and with gladness of heart for the abundance of all things. What does it say in Deuteronomy 32? Jeshurun wax fat and kick. Thou art waxing fat. You did the Most High bless you, and you like the hell with the Most High. I'm doing what I'm gonna do, committing adultery, doing all kind of wickedness. But the Most High put us in this condition. It said, therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies with Yahweh. Now you notice it said enemies, right? It's not talking about one. The curses are not talking about one period of time. Like this was fulfilled in the Roman Empire, or this is fulfilled in the Assyrian Empire. It was fulfilled. The scriptures say nations among the nations that thou art, that go to, that the Most High driven you to. So a major part of the curse, when you go down to Deuteronomy 28 and 50 on down, is talking about the Romans. Even these Christian scholars will tell you that. They'll tell you the Assyrians, the Babylonians, the Greeks, but especially the Romans, until that high and fence walls come down. That was fulfilled in Luke, in the book of Luke. I mean, when Yahweh Shai said it was fulfilled in 70 AD. So 70 AD is fulfilled in Deuteronomy 28. Right, it said hunger and thirst and nakedness and in want of all things, and he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee. If you put in yoke of iron or yoke of iron upon thy neck, you know it's going to come up? Jake in captivity. So, like I said, I wasn't going to go too long. I did go a little long. I wanted to go further, but I'm going to chill out. Most High willing, I'll do another video later in the day. With that, I'm going to say shalom.